Hey, everybody, Flip and Danny here, founders of the Freedom Real Estate Group family of companies, and welcome to another episode of our podcast, which is called
Freedom Through Passive Income.
That's right, and welcome to another episode, and this is a Motivational Monday. This one's called Future Revenge.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to title this episode because there's a few topics that I wanted to talk about. And I thought future revenge is something that we all talk about to some extent when we get the haters, right? When we have people who are saying, you're not going to make it, there's no way you're going to be able to do that, or that's impossible.
You're still doing that?
Yeah. You're not successful yet. We always part of motivation is the revenge on all the naysayers who, were negative talk and just didn't have the confidence in what you were doing and what you believed in. That's all. Sometimes that can be more motivating than your own belief in yourself. Is I am going to prove them wrong. And that kind of determination and kind of anger that boils up in yourself that, I can't believe they don't believe in me. I think it propels you more than you knowing that you can do it. Right. Because you're just fueled by proving it to somebody else, which I would normally say, scrap that crap. You don't even need that in your head. But in this one instance, I say, take it, let it fuel you, burn those, embers in your belly and push you because there's probably, let's just pretend that everybody's around our age, right? And Flip and I are both, I'm 50, you're 52 at this point in time.
I'm 26.
Yes, you're 26. And so there's, people from our younger years and, in high school, right? That we still, at least see on social media because social media is a part of everybody's lives these days. And then as we began careers, we see those people as we began our for us, cruise ships, both the musician side and the art side. And then when we go, I was in a couple different careers, mergers and acquisitions, insurance, but then go into real estate and all the people that have been with us in real estate since 2008, right? And now it's 2022. It's the end of 2022. So we've been in real estate a long time. There's a lot of people that have known us through our path in life, that could, fortunately, a lot of people just don't say to me in my face that you're not going to make it, right? For some reason, maybe I'm just nice enough and cheery enough that they just don't want to squash my dreams. But I have a feeling that a lot of people have said it in the background, right? I can't believe they're still doing it. I can't believe they're still trying. They're just never going to make it or whatever. And even if they didn't, I can kind of pretend that it's there in my head that, man, we've been doing this so long. Do people even believe in me anymore? And that fired me up. And I think that's just important to take with you because there's some inspiration behind not just proving to yourself, but proving to other people that, hey, this is something I believed in and I worked my tail off to do it. And I was dedicated enough to see it through. It wasn't all talk. I was action. And maybe that action didn't happen as fast as I wanted it to, but it did happen. And I never, ever gave up. I think that's just huge. I'm going to let you talk about that because I have one other thing that I want to hit on in this episode, and that's why I didn't know what to title it. But I want you to talk about future revenge and your thoughts behind it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had. There's two situations or two occurrences that I've had something happen, and it's never been. No one's ever said you can't do that. You're not going to be good at that. Wasn't that direct. But a friend of mine growing up and he was, the whole family is all corporate. You get a job. Some of their family didn't even go to college. They went right from high school to a job. And that's where they've been in that job ever since. And a friend of mine, he did some college, but then he got in a job and he's been in that job. He's still in that job today. He's high up, but it's all corporate. But I remember him saying, sure you want to do that? That seems crazy. Are you sure you want to do that? That was like, thank you very much. That's all I needed. And then, then there was another situation where somebody said, "Oh, you guys still do that?" "Oh, we didn't know you were even still doing real estate." And I'm just like, oh, it just, yeah, it fires you up, and it's the, and when I first saw the title Future Revenge, I'm like, that's an interesting title. I don't know what this means, but now I know what it means. It totally makes sense. And I don't think it's ever been something where, my two situations, I don't think they've ever been something that's, I wake up in the morning and it's the, like what you called the embers in my belly. It wasn't anything drastic like that. And it's not anything that I think about daily. I think about it every so often and go, and I chuckle about it, but that's about it. I never had such a dire situation where it just burned me.
Yeah.
And I was going to, through hell or high water, I was going to make sure that I succeed, despite somebody else. It's just, you and I had such good blinders on once we got into real estate. It was, we were going to do this and we were going to be successful.
Yes, 100%. And thank you for leading into that. So that's the other thing that I wasn't sure exactly how to title this podcast episode, because this is the other half of the discussion is having blinders on. And when you have blinders on, it's very easy to go into FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. What am I missing that's over here? But if you look over there, you're going to get distracted and you're not going to continue very passionately after where you should be going. So I think there has to be a dedication and commitment level to some extent that says, hey, I'm going to do these things. And while I do these things, at least if it's a portion of the day, a portion of the month, whatever it is, while I do these things, I am going to put these blinders on, and I'm not going to allow social media or other people or the shiny objects syndrome. And I'm guilty of this too. I'll pop on webinars all the time because I think I can do whatever it is that I want. And I know I can, but I have to prioritize it. I can't do it all at the same time is reality. I can do it, but I need to finish what I'm doing for the team, for the investors, do it successfully, scale it, bring on leadership, and then I can go to the next thing. So sometimes I'm looking at those things going, I'm thinking about the future and the next thing and the vision and how is it going to continue this vertical integration that we have? What's that next business or company that allows us more control and more ability to help our team and our investors? So I'm guilty of it too. What should happen and what would allow us to be more powerful is if we stuck those blinders on and just said, hey, that thing right there will be there like next month or next year. It's not going away. In fact, it'll probably be better in a year when you're ready for it. So stop wasting your time thinking that the grass is greener or that you have to think about, all these other things. Your vision is big enough for right now. And this goes to people who are chasing this freedom through passive income for their family. That vision and probably what you're doing for your own career and for your own family is big enough right now that you don't need anything more. What you have is sufficient. What you have on your plate is good. Put your blinders on and go after it. And don't worry about the fear of missing out because everything will be there. Or it'll be an idea that crashes and you'll be glad that you had your blinders on and you didn't see it. So it's those blinders that allows you to chase. People are afraid to put blinders on because of the fear of missing out. But I have seen people in business just skyrocket because they said, I got off Facebook for a year. I got off this for a year. I stopped doing this for a year. I stopped going on these webinars. So, they made a commitment that this is what I'm doing and this is the dedication I have and this is the timeline I'm putting on it. And the amount that they were able how they progressed through that year was far greater than they ever could have done had they been what you used to call this, our sprinkler, like we're a sprinkler all the time. We're like, looking here. It's just straightforward. So I think there's a powerful lesson in that. And it's something that I need to do better as we sit here and talk about it. I'm just like, Danny, you need to do better. You're doing better than you used to, but you could step it up a notch too and really launch FCI in a bigger way if I just went crazy focused. So this is now my own motivational talk for me.
And if only I had blinders on when somebody said, you should buy crypto. Well, I remember.
So
I went, what?
Love it.
Well, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you head on over to our website, freedomcapitalinvestments.com, to join the Investor Club. We've got a lot of stuff going on at the end of this year, the beginning of next year. So make sure you're reaching out to Ben and or CJ to get more information about the Investor Club and about all the stuff that we've got going on. We're also on all the social media platforms. So make sure you check us out, reach out to us, tell us, say hi. But we'd like to end all of our episodes with
Invest smart.
Live happy. Bye, everybody.
Nothing on this show should be considered specific, personal, or professional advice. Please consult an appropriate tax, legal, real estate, financial, or business professional for individualized advice. Opinions and information on the show are not guaranteed. All investment strategies have the potential for profit and loss.